Hey everybody, welcome back to another trade review video. As you can see, I'm having to wear my headset to make up for the audio issues I was running into yesterday. Unfortunately, the mic that I was wearing kind of gave out, so I had to use an external audio, and it was really bad, so I decided just to try to use this in the interim. We're going to go over a few trades that I took in my real money account this morning. Tomorrow is our first day in the boot camp for our group, and we are going to start trading that account tomorrow. And today I just really gave it a last test out. I tested out the hotkeys in pre-market and actually after the bell rang. So those trades weren't really anything to look at because it was just me willy-nilly hitting the hotkeys. I want to go over these few trades and let you know what happened, and hopefully from tomorrow on out, we're going to have a lot of good content and keep you updated on my boot camp progress. All right, let's take a look at the chart. Okay, guys, this morning I took 4 trades on LCID. As you can see, once I began taking those trades, it was already 9:55 in the morning, so it was quite late. I wasn't able to take the normal trades that I take, which is normally a reversal or the VWAP cross around 9:35, because like I said earlier, I was on my other DOS account, the demo account, trying to work through some things, make sure my hotkeys were in the right place before we get our boot camp started in the morning. So here you can see, this is where I jumped over to this account, and the price was right at the VWAP, so I took a few minutes to look at the levels and where everything was. One thing I want to go ahead and show you, we're going to scroll out here, and you can see on this 5-minute chart that Lucid got beat down quite a bit right at the bell, and then it did make a small recovery. So we got beat down for the first 15 minutes and then made this recovery. This was a setup for a really a nice ABCD pattern off of the VWAP, which that would have been basically a really good entry to coincide with a low, which is exactly what I tried to do on my first trade. As you can see here on the 1-minute chart, I took a low, or excuse me, I took a short right off of the VWAP, and it was really close to the previous close of day. Unfortunately, this stock was not ready to continue to move lower as it did a few candles from there. So what happened is I got stopped out. As you can see there, I already had my stop loss in the back of my mind, so that's where I was going to stop out. I wasn't going to allow this stock to move any higher. Um, so that was my first trade on LCID. I didn't feel bad about stopping out because we were at the $27 level, and I knew that I could always re-enter the trade if I needed to. So that was my first trade, and it was actually a red trade. Okay, now my second trade on Lucid was the loss of this level right here, in which I took a short. As you can see, this stock respected the 9 EMA for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles, and then on the 6th candle, I saw it moving down to this key level, which I had marked from a previous 1-minute candle, and I'm going to try to scroll out just a little bit to see. Right here at the bottom of these candles is exactly where this line touched, so that was in the back of my mind. That was the low that I was trying to see lost. That would have been a really good entry point, and you know that was exactly what I was looking for. So I jumped in. I went short again right at this level here, and as soon as I did, we saw this huge red candle come and take place. Also, one other thing to take a look at, you can see the red candles stair stacking up, so that was another really good indicator. And we are going to highlight right here, these were my 2 partials that I took. I got the entry around 232. I took a really quick partial here, and I also took a second one here, which was right around the S1 Camarilla pivot point. I wasn't really sure what my risk and return was going to be on this stock. I was really just trying to go ahead and get a feel of the stock and see what it was going to do. If it was going to bounce off of this S1 level and continue back up to the VWAP, or if the bears were just going to continue to push down. So I went ahead and I took all my profits out there, knowing that I could always re-enter this trade if these candles came back up to the 9 EMA, because they had respected it so much down through here. I kind of felt like that was a real strong level. I'm a really big fan of the EMA lines, especially the 9. So as you can see on this next trade, I'll show you that was one of the bases for my entries. So my second trade was right here, and this is actually a long. I was all out in 2 trades on this first short. You may ask why I went long here. I had 2 things that were looking me in the face that gave me the confidence to go long. Uh, One was we were sitting right at this S1 level, so I was kind of using that for support, gauging what everybody else was thinking of doing. And also, we were sitting right at the $26 mark. And if you can, you really can't see my entries here on these charts, but my entry was right around 26.05. So that automatically gave me the stop loss that I needed. If it was going to move up and then drop back down, I already knew that I was going to go ahead and get out of this. Also watched a little bit of movement on the price level on the L2, and I saw a lot of those, the 2602s, the 2603s. I saw a lot of green flashing up on the L2, so I knew people were wanting to buy off of that level. They wanted to use it as a bounce, and thankfully that's exactly what happened. I was able to grab some small shares here. Got in around 2603, and then I took my first partial right around 2615, and I took my last right about 2626. I had the 9 EMA slash this line right here. This was really a big level for me what I was watching, and as you can see, that's what the stock started respecting. That's why I went ahead and I got all the way out of this long. I didn't think it was going to continue to rip higher, and again, if it did, that would have been fine. But you know, I was able to go ahead and grab these 2 partials right here, which I was all out. Again, we're not looking at big chunks here. We're looking at 2 partials each, 2 here and 2 winners here. But they were both about 20 to 30 cent winners, so I was more than happy with that, especially at the time of the day that we were trading. Is a little bit later than I'm used to, so I was happy with that. This last trade is going to be the most productive, and as you can see, it had a really easy entry point. I gave this candle right here time to fail the 9 EMA. I saw that it wasn't going to continue to push. So what I was looking for is this next candle to open up right at the 9 EMA. I didn't want to see it open above the 9 EMA. That would have been like, okay, this is a bullish candle. So I waited for it to open. It was underneath the 9 EMA. I said, okay, I went ahead and smashed the short key again. Once I had my level here, what I was looking for is a combination of the upside down ABCD pattern, which would have been this, and I was also looking for it to hold this 2632 level, because I was in at a level where I could have stopped out at 2632, and that would have given me my 10-cent stop loss. So from that point on, as you can see, this was just a bunch of parceling which took place. We had the S1 Camarilla pivot point here and the S2 point here, which coincided with these 2 partials. Once I had those 2, you know, it was at that point it was pretty much just a sit back and wait. Gave this candle another huge volume candle to run down on, and took another partial here and another partial here. Lastly, at this point, I believe I moved my break even to, or I'm sorry, my stop loss down to the 9 EMA. I basically just followed the 9 EMA all the way down with this stock. And, once it was either stop out at the 9 if these would have came up, or it was take my last profits once it lost the Camarilla pivot point, which was here. Once this one pushed this far back up, I didn't feel like it had enough downward momentum to carry on down to the next support level. So that's why I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my last profits and be done with this trade. This one ended up being, when all is said and done, the entry was around 26.22, and my last profits were at 25.67. My R's are really easy to calculate because my R's are always in 10 cents. Um, so 21 and my stop was at 32, so let's say that's a 10 cent. My first was right at 1R, and then we had again the 2R, and this we finally ended up down here right around, I don't know what the exact average was, but it was around 65 to 67. So again, it was a good trade for me. I'll take it. It was my last trade that I'm going to make in my real money account until the boot camp is over. So I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully there's going to be some good news at the end of that, depending on how well I do. And either way it goes, it's going to be really good learning experience. So thanks you guys for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.